on one problem on parallelogram law. Next problem. Next problem. The ratio of the magnitudes of two vectors. The ratio of the magnitudes of two vectors is 3:5. Is 3:5. Is 3:5. And the resultant is 35 newtons. And the resultant is 35 newtons. 35 newtons. Full stop. If they are inclined to 60 degrees, what are the two forces? P and Q. What are the two forces? P and Q. What are the two forces? P and Q. All of you look at this. It is given that the ratio of the magnitudes of two forces P and Q is 3:5. Their resultant is 35 newtons. Angle between them is 60 degrees. Find P and Q individually. Right. Here, in the ratio, there is a common multiple. For both P and Q, there should be some common multiple. Let P is equal to 3x, Q is equal to 5x. Let P is equal to 3x, Q is equal to 5x. Then substitute in the formula. What is the resultant formula? Tell me. P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. Substitute in this formula. Find out x. All of you do it. Find the value of x. First find the value of x. Let P equal to 3x, Q equal to 5x. Resultant is 35 newtons. Substitute here. Resultant is 35 under square root of P square. 3x whole square plus 5x whole square plus 2 into 3x 5x cos 60 root of 3x square plus 5x square plus 2 into 3x 5x cos 60. Right. What happens? We have 35 under square root 3x square 9x square plus 25x square plus 5 3 15 30x square into 1 by 2 cos 60 1 by 2. Now what happens? 35 is equal to square root of 25 plus 9. 25 plus 9. It gives us 34 x square plus 2 times 15 times cancel 15x square. 15x square. What you will get finally? 35 is equal to root of 49x square, that equal to 7x. That is equal to 7x. From this equation, find x. X is equal to 35 by 7, that equal to 5 units. 5 units. X equal to 5 units. 5 units. Okay. Now substitute x in P and Q. You will get the two values of P and Q. Now I'm writing here. So P is equal to 3x, 3 into 5, 15. 3 into 5, 15 newtons. And Q is equal to 5x. It is equal to 5 into 5, 25 newtons. That's all. These two are the answers. Right on. The ratio is nothing but there should be some common multiple for both P and Q. There is a common multiple. That is x. Common multiple is x. Let P is equal to 3x, Q equal to 5x. Substitute in the formula. Finally, you will get x equal to 5 units. 5 units. 5 units. Then substitute this. P equal to 15 newtons. Q equal to 25 newtons. Okay. Write down. Next one. Write down next one. The maximum and minimum. The maximum and minimum resultants. The maximum and minimum resultants of two forces. Two forces are 29 newtons, 29 newtons, 29 newtons and 5 newtons. 29 newtons and 5 newtons. Full stop. If each force is increased by 3 newtons, if the each force is increased by 3 newtons, 3 newtons, and they are applied at right angles to each other, and they are applied at right angles to each other, what will be the new resultant? What will be the new resultant? Okay. First, understand the question. What is the maximum resultant? P plus Q. P plus Q is equal to 29 newtons. This is maximum resultant, equation 1. Maximum resultant, P plus Q. Already we know. What is the minimum resultant? P minus Q. P minus Q equal to 5 newtons. This is second equation. These two are given in the problem. First, find out the individual forces. Add these two equations. QQ gets cancelled. QQ gets cancelled. 2P is equal to 34 newtons. So P is equal to 34 by 2, 17 newtons. 17 newtons. Right. Now it is substituted in first equation. First equation you will get. So P plus Q is equal to 29. P is 17 plus Q is equal to 29. So Q is equal to 29 minus 17. What you will get? Q is equal to 12 newtons. We get P and Q. P 17 newtons, Q is 12 newtons. Another condition is there in the problem. Another condition. Each force increased by 3 newtons. 3 newtons. Each force increased by 3 newtons. Now the new force P1 on P plus 3. 17 plus 3. 20 newtons. P1 is equal to 20 newtons. Q1 is equal to Q plus 3. What is Q? 12 plus 3. Q1 is equal to 15 newtons. Each force increases by 3 newtons. 17 plus 3, 12 plus 3, 15 newtons. Now they are perpendicular to each other. So P1 in this direction, Q1 in this direction. Now they are perpendicular, theta 90. What will be the resultant? New resultant. Root of P1 square plus Q1 square. The resultant, new resultant is equal to root of, in the perpendicular directions, P1 square plus Q1 square. That's all. Calculate. Substitute in the formula. What is P1? Square root of 20 square plus 15 square. 20 square plus 15 square. Then what you will get? Calculate. 20 square, root 400. Root 400 plus 225. 15 square, 225. Then you will get R is equal to root of 625. That equal 25 newtons is the answer. That is what we required. 25 newtons. Very important point. In the problem, it is given that maximum and minimum resultants are given. From that two equations, we calculated individual forces. Second condition is each force increases by 3 newtons, 17 plus 3, 12 plus 3. Now they are perpendicular to right angles to each other. Right angles to each other. Now they are applied at right angles to each other. The new resultant is 25 newtons. 25 newtons. Write down. This formula already we know. When the two vectors are inclined to 90, perpendicular, right angles to each other, then the resultant is root of P1 square plus P2 square. P1 square plus Q1 square. Right. Next problem. The resultant of two equal forces. Write down. Next example. The resultant of two equal forces. The resultant of two equal forces is 141.4. 141.4 newtons. The resultant of two equal forces is 141.4 newtons when they are perpendicular to each other. When they are perpendicular to each other. Full stop. If the two forces are inclined to 120 degrees, if the two forces are inclined to 120 degrees, find the new resultant. Find the new resultant of the two forces. Find the new resultant of these two forces. PP are right angles to each other, two forces. Their resultant is equal to 141.4 newtons. So two forces, two equal forces are at right angles to each other, perpendicular to each other. The resultant is 141.4 newtons. Suppose if they are inclined to 120, what is the resultant? What is the resultant? Right. Now first find out the individual force. Individual forces calculate them. Right. So resultant is equal to root of, in the case of perpendicular directions, P square plus P square. Perpendiculars. So R is equal to root of 2P square. R is equal to root 2P. R equal to root 2P. First find out each force. So here P is equal to R by root 2. R by root 2. Each force 141.4 by root 2 value already we know 1.414. 1.414. It gets cancelled 100 times. 100 times cancel out. P is equal to 100 newtons each. Each one is 100 newtons now. Each force is 100 newtons. Two forces of equal magnitude. Nice. Next, second step. Second step. If they are inclined to 120, what will be the new resultant? New resultant, right? So R dash equal to 2P cos theta by 2. It tells 2P cos theta by 2. This is the resultant of two vectors of equal magnitude. This is the resultant of two vectors of equal magnitude. Already we derived yesterday, right? That equal to 2 into P is 100 cos 120 by 2. What happens? 120 by 2. That equal to 2 into 100 into cos 60. 2 into 100 into 1 by 2. 2 gets cancelled. So final 100 newtons. The resultant, new resultant is 100 newtons. 100 newtons. This is the answer. Very simple question. Understand clearly. This is the first step, second step. In the first step, it is given that two forces of equal magnitude are right angles to each other, 90 degrees. They are perpendicular to each other. The resultant is 141.4. Find the individual force, 100 newtons each. Now they are inclined to 120. Two forces are inclined to 120 degrees. That is new resultant 2p cos theta by 2. 2p cos theta by 2. You will get 100 newtons. Write down. Right. Next one. Next one. Next one. The resultant of two forces, A and B, A bar and B bar. The resultant of two forces, A bar and B bar. A bar and B bar is perpendicular to A bar. Is perpendicular to A bar. The resultant of two forces, A bar and B bar, is perpendicular to A bar, and whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. And whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. Then find the angle between the vectors. Then find the angle between the vectors. Find the angle between the vectors. Once again, I am repeating. The resultant of two forces, A bar and B bar, is perpendicular to A bar. Is perpendicular to A bar, whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. Whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. Find the angle between the vectors. Right. The resultant is nothing but addition. A bar plus B bar equal to R bar. The resultant of A bar and B bar is R bar, and R bar is perpendicular to A bar, and whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. What is the angle between the vectors? This is the question. The resultant of A bar and B bar is R bar. R bar is perpendicular to A bar, whose magnitude equal to B by 2. Find the angle. Right. Draw a parallelogram. A bar, here A bar, write down A bar. The resultant is perpendicular to A bar. Here is the resultant, R bar. That is perpendicular to A bar. Resultant is perpendicular to A bar. And B bar must be in this direction. It should be in this direction. Because the resultant must be in between A and B. All the three vectors should start at the same point. Should start at the same point. Already we know. Resultant is perpendicular to A bar, whose magnitude is equal to B by 2. Magnitude of R bar equal to B by 2. B bar like this. The resultant must be in between A bar and B bar. Complete the parallelogram. Complete the parallelogram. This is parallelogram. What is the angle between the vectors? This is total angle, theta. Theta is the angle between A bar and B bar. A bar and B bar. Find theta. Here it is already known angle is 90. Now we have to find out the angle beta. 90 plus beta gives rise theta. 90 plus beta. 90 plus beta gives rise theta. Now beta, find out beta from this triangle. Cos beta. What is cos beta? Cos beta and the adjacent side by hypotenuse. Find out cos beta. Cos beta equal adjacent side. Resultant by B. Resultant is equal to B by 2 by B. BB gets cancelled 1 by 2. BB gets cancelled 1 by 2. So cos beta equal to half. So beta equal to 60 degrees. Beta 60. చూడండి నీకు ఈ వాల్యూ తెలిస్తే పై వాల్యూ తెలిస్తే సైన్ తీసుకుంటా సైన్ నాకు అడ్జసెంట్ వాల్యూ తెలుసు r equal to b by 2 r equal to b by 2 so cos beta adjacent side by hypotenuse b by 2 by b 60. Now the angle between the vectors is equal to 90 plus beta. Angle between the vectors is 90 plus beta. 90 plus 60. So you will get 150 degrees. This is the angle between the vectors A and B. Very important point. Write down clearly. Resultant is perpendicular to A bar. Go draw the diagram. This is the resultant. Resultant is perpendicular to A bar. This is A bar, resultant, perpendicular. Resultant is perpendicular to A bar. Now B bar like this. Because the resultant must be in between A bar and B bar. Must be in between A bar and B bar. These three vectors drawn from the same point O. Complete the parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal in the parallelogram. So cos beta, find out cos beta, adjacent side by hypotenuse. R by B, take only magnitudes. Beta 60. Now the total angle between the vectors A and B gives rise 150. 150 is the angle between the vectors. Next one. Write down. Next example. The resultant of P bar and Q bar. Next example. Write down. The resultant of P bar and Q bar is R bar. The resultant of P bar and Q bar is R bar. R bar. Full stop. R bar is perpendicular to P bar. R bar is perpendicular to P bar. R bar is perpendicular to P bar. Find the magnitude of the resultant. Find the magnitude of the resultant. Magnitude of the resultant. Find the magnitude of the resultant. Very simple question, you see. The resultant of P bar and Q bar. P bar plus Q bar equal to R bar. Resultant is nothing but addition. The second condition is R bar is perpendicular to P bar. What will be the magnitude of the resultant? This is the question. The resultant of P bar and Q bar is R bar. R bar is perpendicular to P bar. Find R. So the direction of R bar is perpendicular to P bar. That is alpha. Alpha is 90 degrees. Alpha is 90. The angle made by R bar with P bar is alpha. Direction. That is 90. It can be done in two different ways. First, let's see method one. Diagrammatic method. It is very easy. Show them. Write down. First, draw the diagram P bar in this direction. P bar. The resultant is perpendicular to P bar. Write down R bar. R bar is the resultant perpendicular to P bar. It is given in the problem. Right. Q bar must be in this direction because the resultant must be in between PQ. ఈ మధ్యలో ఉండదు Q. Q ఇక్కడ ఉండదు, ఇక్కడ ఉండదు, ఇక్కడ కూడా ఉండదు, ఇక్కడ ఉండదు, ఇటువైపే ఉండాలి. The resultant must be in between P and Q. P and Q. Complete the parallelogram. Complete the parallelogram. Draw the diagram. Vectors you should represent with directions, vectors. Next, we know in parallelogram opposite sides are equal. Here we can write it as q bar underscore q bar. In parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. From this triangle, take the Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem from this triangle. R square plus p square equal to q square. R square plus p square equal to q square. Take the expression for R. R square is equal to q square minus p square. R is equal to root of q square minus p square. This is the answer what we require. Resultant of magnitude of the resultant, root of q square minus p square. Q square minus p square. R is equal to root of q square minus p square. This is the first method, easiest method. Second method is there, somewhat lengthy. Still we see second method. Second method. This is alpha. Angle between the vectors is theta. The total angle is theta. P bar and Q bar. Angle between the vectors P bar and Q bar is theta. This is alpha. Alpha. Direction is alpha. Total angle is theta. Alpha. Right. We know the direction formula. We know. What is the direction formula? Tan alpha is equal to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. Already we know. Derived tan alpha equal to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. Now substitute alpha equal to 90. Alpha value 90. Alpha direction is given that 90. R bar is perpendicular to P bar. Tan 90. Tan 90 is equal to q sin theta by P plus q cos theta. What is tan 90? Do you know? Tan 90 infinity. Tan 90 is equal to 1 by 0. It can be written as infinity. Write down. Tan 90. Sin 90 by cos 90. Sin 90 by cos 90. Cos 90 0. Infinity. It can be written as 1 by 0. 1 by 0 is equal to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. From this equation, find out theta. What is the angle between the vectors? Theta. On cross multiplying 0 into anything 0. 1 plus the p plus q cos theta is equal to 0. So p is equal to minus q cos theta. Here cos theta is equal to minus p by q. This is the equation 1. Write down. We know the direction of the resultant. Tan alpha equal to q sin theta by p plus q cos theta. Here alpha is 90. Given that alpha 90. Tan 90 infinity. 1 by 0. 1 by 0. 1 by 0. On cross multiplying. P plus q cos theta equal to 0. Cos theta equal to minus p by q. Now substitute in the resultant formula. What is the resultant formula? We know. So R is equal to root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. This is equation 2. Substitute cos theta value 1 in 2. Substitute equation 1 in equation 2. What you will get? R is equal to root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos theta minus p by q. Cos theta is minus p by q. Q gets cancelled. Finally, p square plus q square minus 2p square. Minus 2p square. Here 2p, here p, minus 2p square. Finally, you will get root of q square minus p square. This is the resultant. This is the second method. Somewhat lengthy. First method is easy. First method is easier one. So r equal to root of q square minus p square. Q square minus p square. Note down. Write down. Complete చేశారు అందరూ. First find out cos theta minus p by q. Substitute in the formula, resultant formula. You will get finally q square minus p square. That's all. This is about parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law of vector addition. We have triangle law, polygon law. So many concepts are there. Will be discussed in later sessions. Right? All of you. This is the last class for this session. From the last 1 month, we are taking classes. This is the last class. 10 days మీకు హాలిడేస్ ఇస్తున్నాం. నెక్స్ట్ 10 days తర్వాత మీకు మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది ఎలా ఫాలో అవ్వాలి, ఏం చేయాలి అనేది. మీరు ఆ విధంగా ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. అంటే మేము ఏమనుకుంటున్నాం అంటే సిబిఎస్ఈ స్టూడెంట్స్ కి రెగ్యులర్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం 10 days లో. సిబిఎస్ఈ స్టూడెంట్స్, మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది స్టూడెంట్స్ డే స్కాలర్స్ నుంచి ఉండొచ్చు. అలాగా రైట్. ఎస్ఎస్సి స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా అటెండ్ అవ్వచ్చు. మీరు కావాలంటే అటెండ్ అవ్వచ్చు. అంటే మీరు ఎగ్జామ్ కి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతూ ఉంటారని చెప్పి మీకు తర్వాత స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఫస్ట్ సిబిఎస్ఈ సెక్షన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం 10 days లో. మీకు మెసేజ్ వస్తుంది, మీరు కూడా వినొచ్చు కావాలంటే. అర్థమవుతుందా? మన దగ్గర ఎక్సలెంట్ స్టాఫ్ ఉన్నారు. శ్రీ భవిష్య is one of the fast growing institute in AP. In the past 3 years we have been produced 700 plus medical and engineering seats అన్నమాట. ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేసాం medical and engineering 700 plus. It is not a joke. For some other institutions it took around 10 years. మనం 3 years లోనే ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేసాం. అర్థమవుతుందా? అదొకటి జాగ్రత్తగా గమనించండి. నెక్స్ట్, థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ ఫర్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ అండ్ పేరెంట్స్ ఆల్సో చూసింగ్ ది శ్రీ భవిష్య ఫర్ యువర్ కెరీర్ గ్రోత్. అర్థమవుతుందా? నెక్స్ట్ మళ్ళీ మేము 10 days లో మిమ్మల్ని కాంటాక్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఎట్లాగా ఏం చేయాలి అనేది మొత్తం అంతా కూడా ఆ విధంగా ఫాలో అవ్వండి. మీకు ఎక్సలెంట్ కోచింగ్ ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ. నెక్స్ట్ స్టడీ అవర్స్ ఉంటాయి. తర్వాత కాలేజీ వచ్చిన తర్వాత స్టడీ అవర్స్ అవన్నీ ఉంటాయి. అలాగే ఈ జూమ్ క్లాసులు ప్రస్తుతం అంతవరకు కూడా జూమ్ క్లాసులు 1 month వరకు జూమ్ క్లాసులు జరగచ్చు. ఆ తర్వాత రెగ్యులర్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ క్లాస్ జరుగుతాయి. అదే క్లాస్ రూమ్ టీచింగ్ జరుగుతుంది. అందుకని మీరు ఈ 10 days లో కొద్దిగా మేము పంపిస్తాం ఒక మెసేజ్, ఆ ద్వారా మీరు ట్రై చేయండి. అర్థమవుతుందా? నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే ఒక సింపుల్ పాయింట్ చెప్తున్నాను. వర్క్ చేస్తూనే ఉండాలి. ఈ 1 రోజుల్లో ఏం నేర్చుకున్నారో ఈ వారం రోజుల్లో మీరు మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చదవండి. మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చదువుతూ ఉండాలన్నమాట. గెలిచేవాడు 24 గంటలు కష్టపడతాడు. ఓడిపోయేవాడు 24 గంటలు ఎలా కష్టపడాలని ఆలోచిస్తూ ఉంటాడు. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఓడిపోయేవాడు ఏదైనా పని ప్రారంభించడానికి ధైర్యం కావాలి, కొనసాగించడానికి కృషి కావాలి, పూర్తి చేయడానికి పట్టుదల కావాలి. అన్నిట్లోనూ స్మైలింగ్ ఉండాలి. స్మైలింగ్ ఉంటే డెఫినెట్లీ యూ విల్ రీచ్ యువర్ గోల్. అందులో అనుమానం లేదు. అర్థం? నువ్వు ఇష్టంగా చేసేది అదృష్టం, బలంగా కోరుకునేదే భవిష్యత్. నువ్వు ఏదైతే ఇష్టంగా చేసుకుంటున్నావు, వాట్ ఎవర్ ఫీల్ ఇన్ యువర్ మైండ్ దట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్. జరుగుతుంది అనమాట. జరుగుతుంది డెఫినెట్ గా. అంత స్ట్రాంగ్ ఫీలింగ్ ఉండాలి దాంట్లో. జరుగుతుంది. అర్థమవుతుందా? సక్సెస్ సాధించడము అంటే ఒక సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పి ముగిస్తాను నేను. సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సక్సెస్ సాధించడం అంటే జేడి లక్ష్మీనారాయణ గారు అని సిబిఐ డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నారు. ఆయన చెప్తూ ఉంటారు ఎక్కడైనా సక్సెస్ సాధించడము అంటే ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ సక్సెస్ ఏంటి అంటే నువ్వు చదువుకున్న స్కూల్లో, నువ్వు చిన్నప్పుడు చదువుకున్న స్కూల్లో కానీ ఇప్పుడు చదువుకున్న కాలేజెస్ లో కానీ మళ్ళీ నువ్వు చీఫ్ గెస్ట్ గా రావడం, ఓ పెద్ద అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఏ ఇంజనీరో డాక్టరో ఐఏఎస్ కలెక్టరో అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ నిన్ను చీఫ్ గెస్ట్ గా పిలుస్తారనమాట. నువ్వు చదివిన స్కూల్లో చదివిన కాలేజీలో చీఫ్ గెస్ట్ గా వెళ్తాం, అది ఫస్ట్ సక్సెస్, రైట్. రెండో సక్సెస్ ఏంటంటే నువ్వు బాగా సాధించిన తర్వాత ఒక మెడికల్ ఇంజనీరింగో ఏదో ఒక ఐఏఎస్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మీ ఫాదరు మదరు పేరెంట్స్ అందరూ పిలిచి భలే చేసావురా, నువ్వు చాలా బాగా సాధించావు, నా పేరు నిలబెట్టావు అని భుజం తట్టి చెప్పడం అనమాట. అర్థమవుతుందా? పేరెంట్స్ అలా చెప్పాలి నీకు, నేను పిలిచి నువ్వు చాలా బాగా సాధించావు, నువ్వు బ్రహ్మాండంగా చేస్తున్నావు వర్క్, నా పేరు నిలబెట్టావు, పరువు కాపాడావు అని భుజం తట్టి చెప్పడం అనమాట. అది సెకండ్ సక్సెస్ అంటారు, సెకండ్ సక్సెస్. థర్డ్ సక్సెస్ ఏంటంటే ఆటోగ్రాఫ్ తీసుకునే స్థాయి నుంచి ఆటోగ్రాఫ్ ఇచ్చే స్థాయికి వెళ్ళాలి. మనం చాలా మంది దగ్గర ఆటోగ్రాఫ్ తీసుకుంటూ ఉంటాం, అది కాదు, ఆటోగ్రాఫ్ ఇచ్చే స్థాయికి ఎదగాలి. వీటన్నిటికీ ఒకటే, చదువు ఒక్కటే మార్గం. నువ్వు చదువుకుంటే నువ్వు ఆ స్థాయికి రీచ్ అవుతావు, అందులో అనుమానం లేదు, ఆ స్థాయికి రీచ్ అవుతావు. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. నెక్స్ట్ మళ్ళీ ఒక 10 days లో మళ్ళీ మనం మీట్ అవుదాం. ఒక చిన్న పాయింట్, నీకు ఒక లాజికల్ బిట్ లాంటిది ఒకటి ఇస్తాను, మీరు ట్రై చేయండి. హాలిడేస్ లో ఒకసారి ఆలోచించండి ఒకసారి. సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, యూ హ్యావ్ 3 vessels ఇలా ఉన్నాయి. ఈ హాలిడేస్ లో ఆలోచించండి, రాకపోతే నేను తర్వాత చెప్తాను. దిస్ ఈస్ 3 liters, దిస్ ఈస్ 5 liters vessel, దిస్ ఈస్ 8 liters vessel. 3 vessels are there, 8 liters, 5 liters and 3 liters, right? 8-liter vessel is completely filled with milk తో ఫిల్ చేశా, మిల్క్. These two are empty, 5 liters and 3 liters are empty. అర్థమవుతుంది కదా? It is completely filled with milk, right? There is no other aid, నీకు ఎక్స్పెరిమెంటల్ ఎయిడ్ నీ దగ్గర ఏం లేవు ఇంకా. How can you divide the milk into 2 parts? 4 liters గా మార్చాలి, 4 liters plus 4 liters గా తయారు చేయాలి. ఇంకా నీ దగ్గర ఈ 3 వాడుకోవాలంటే, ఈ 3 వెసల్సే వాడుకోవాలి. దీంట్లో పోసుకుంటావో దాంట్లో పోసుకుంటావో దీంట్లోకి ఎట్లా పోసుకుంటావో పోసుకో. 4 liters plus 4 liters రావాలి ఖచ్చితంగా, ఒక్క డ్రాప్ కూడా తేడా ఉండకూడదు. వేరే నీ దగ్గర ఎక్స్పెరిమెంటల్ ఎయిడ్ కానీ ఏం లేవు. సరదాగా 4 రోజులు ఆలోచించండి, రాకపోతే నేను తర్వాత చెప్తాను. అర్థమవుతుందా? 3 vessels, 8, 5, 3 liters. 8 liters vessel completely filled with milk. There is no experimental aid. వేరే ఏం లేవు నీ దగ్గర, మెజర్మెంట్స్ ఏం లేవు. How can you divide the 8 liters into 2 equal parts? 4 liters and 4 liters. Right. అట్లా ట్రై చేయండి. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Hey dear students, good afternoon. Last day of first phase of bridge course. So where we are now, we are going through problems, numericals on concentration methods, molarity, normality, both these are over. Today we'll see the problems on molality and mole fraction. Molality and mole fraction. We'll see the numericals on both these concentration methods, molality and mole fraction. See the problem. 6 grams urea is dissolved in 6 grams urea is dissolved in 90 grams water. What is molality? What is molality? What is mole fraction of solute? What is mole fraction of solute? And what is mole fraction of solvent? What is mole fraction of solvent. So see the problem, 6 grams urea is dissolved in 90 grams of the water. What is molality of the solution? What is mole fraction of the solute? What is mole fraction of the solvent? Here solvent is water, solute is urea. See the molality. The molality is equal to weight by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent, capital W in grams. This is weight of the solvent. So weight of the solute given 6 grams. Urea molecular weight 60. Urea formula is NH2CONH2. Urea molecular formula NH2CONH2. The gram molecular weight is 60 into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams, 90 grams. So 6 by 60, 1000 by 900, 1000 by 900. So the answer is 10 by 9 molal. The molality of the solution is 10 by 9. So the molality is weight by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams. Then what is mole fraction of solute? The solute here is urea. Mole fraction of urea. Mole fraction of urea is equal to number of moles of urea by its moles by total moles. Number of moles of urea plus number of moles of the water. Urea weight was given 6. 6 by 60 is urea moles by 6 by 60 plus 90 by 18. 0.1 by 0.1 plus 5. 0.1 by 5.1. 1 by 51. So 1 by 51 is the mole fraction of the urea. So mole fraction means its moles by. Mole fraction of a component means its moles by total number of moles. 6 by 60 by 6 by 60 plus 90 by 18. So 0.1 by 5.1. 1 by 51 is the mole fraction of the urea. And see mole fraction of the water. The number of moles of water by number of moles of water plus number of moles of the urea. Urea weight was given 90 grams, 90 by 18 by 90 by 18 plus urea 6 by 60. 5 by 5 plus 0.1. 5 by 5.1 or 50 by 51. So 50 by 51 is the mole fraction of the urea. Or you can also find out the mole fraction of urea because sum of the urea plus water must be equal to 1. Sum of mole fractions all must be equal to 1. Urea mole fraction already you got 1 by 51. So 1 by 51 plus mole fraction of water is equal to 1. Then mole fraction of water is equal to 1 minus 1 by 51. On taking LCM, we'll get 50 by 51. So if you find out mole fraction of one of the components, you can find out the other component by applying this relation. Mole fractions of all components must be equal to 1 in any solution. So that if weight of solute and weight of solvent were given, you can find out both molality and mole fractions. So molality and mole fractions both can be found out if the weight of the solutes and solvents were given independently. See the next problem. The molality of 4% W by V NaOH solution is dash. Bracket low density of NaOH solution is equal to 1.04 gram per ml. 1.04 gram per ml. We have to find out molality of 4% W by V NaOH solution whose density was 1.04 gram per ml. So he was given that the strength of the solution is 4% W by V. 4% W by V solution means 4% W by V solution means 100 ml solution has 4 grams of solute, 4 grams of the NaOH. 100 ml solution has 4 grams of NaOH. Volume of the solution is 100 ml. Density is equal to 1.04 gram per ml. Then mass of the solution is equal, density is equal to mass by volume, mass in grams, volume in ml. Then mass of the solution is equal to density into volume in ml. The density is 1.04 into volume in ml is 100 ml is equal to 104 gram solution. So this is mass of solution. So how do you get mass of solution? By multiplying density with volume. It is 104. That means small w plus capital W is equal to 104 grams. Small w plus capital W, 104. Out of this, the solute weight is 4 grams NaOH. 4% W by V means 4 grams NaOH is present in 100 ml solution. Small w is 4 grams. Small w 4 grams. Small w plus capital W is 104 grams. Then capital W is equal to 104 minus 4, 100 grams. So you know small w as well as capital W. Then you can find out molality. So molality is equal to weight by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams. So what weight of the solute is 4 grams. Gram molecular weight of solute 40 into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams 100 grams. So you will get 1 molal. So the molality of the solution is 1 small m. So see once again what was given to you. The strength of the sodium hydroxide solution was given in terms of weight by volume. You have to find out molality. So the molality is determined only when the solute weight and solvent weights are independently known. For this what he was given? Percentage strength was given. 4% W by V was given. Means 4 grams of the NaOH solute present in 100 ml solution. You have to convert this volume into mass. You know that density is equal to mass by volume. Then mass of the solution is equal to density into volume. So when you multiply both these, you will get 104 grams. So this 104 grams is what? Weight of the solution. Weight of solute plus weight of solvent is equal to 104. Out of this solute weight is 4 grams. Out of 104 gram solution, if solute is 4 grams, what will be the solvent? The solvent is 100 grams. So solute weights and solvent weights are independently known so that you can find out the molality. Weight of the solute by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent. Okay. So that you have to convert the volume of the solution into weight of the solution. See another problem. The molarity, capital M, the molarity of 6% W by W NaOH solution whose density 1.2 gram per ml is dash. The molarity of 6% W by W NaOH solution whose density 1.2 gram per ml. So molarity is equal to weight of the solute by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by volume of the solution in ml. What does 6% W by W solution means? 6% W by W solution means 6 gram solute present in solute is what? Urea. Sorry. Let us take this will take 4%. Let us take 4%. This is 4%. 4% W by W NaOH solution. 4% W by W NaOH solution means 4 grams of the solute. 4 grams of the solute present in 100 grams solution. W by W means 100 grams of the solution has 4 grams of the solute. The solute is NaOH. So now small w is equal to 4 grams. Small w plus capital W is equal to 100 grams. This is the weight of the solution. But to find out molarity, you have to require volume. You have to require volume of the solution. We know that density is equal to mass of the solution by volume of the solution in ml. Mass in grams by volume in ml. Then volume in ml is equal to mass of the solution by density. The mass of the solution is 100 grams. The density was given 1.2. So this is the volume of the solution. Weight of the solute is 4 grams. 4 grams solute present in 100 gram solution. You have to convert 100 grams of the solution into volume. How do you convert mass into the volume? Density is equal to mass by volume. Then volume is equal to mass by density. The mass of the solution is 100 grams and the density of the solution is 1.2 grams per ml. Therefore, volume is 100 by 1.2. Now, molarity is equal to weight of the solute 4 grams by gram molecular weight 40 into 1000 by the volume of the solution in ml 100 by 1.2. So 1.2 comes upside. Therefore, 40 will cancel. So the answer is 1.2 molar. So what you have to find out here? Molarity of the solution. But he was given percentage W by W strength was given. Percentage W by W strength means 100 grams of the solution has 4 grams of the solute. 4 grams solute present in 100 grams of the solution. The solute is NaOH. And you have to convert the weight of the solution into volume. Density is equal to mass by volume. Then volume of the solution is equal to mass by density. So that the volume of the solution is 100 by 1.2. So when volume is known, you can apply this formula. Weight of the solute is 4 grams. Gram molecular weight is 40. And volume of the solution is 100 by 1.2. So that you will get molarity. Next. See the next problem. The molality of the molality of 1 molar urea solution whose density 1.2 gram per ml is dash. So here you have to find it molality. And what was he given? Molarity was given. What do you mean by 1 molar urea? 1 molar urea means 1 mole urea present in 1 mole urea is present in 1 liter solution, 1000 ml solution. 1 mole means 60 grams. So 60 grams urea present in 1000 ml solution. 1 liter means 1000 ml solution. So volume of the solution is equal to 1000 ml. Density is equal to 1.2 gram per ml. Then mass of the solution. We know that density is equal to mass by volume. Therefore, mass of the solution is equal to density into volume in ml. So the density was given 1.2 and volume is 1000 ml. that is 1200 grams of the solution. So this is the mass of the solution. This is equal to small w plus capital W. So small w plus capital W is equal to 1200 grams, and weight of the solute weight is 60 grams. So small w is equal to 60 grams. Small w plus capital W is equal to 1200 grams. Then capital W is equal to 1200 minus 60. This is equal to 1140 grams. So you know the solute weight and also solvent weight. If both solute weight and solvent weights are known, you can find out molality. Weight by gram molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams. Weight of the solute is solute weight 60 grams urea. Solute is urea, 60 grams is present. 60 by gram molecular weight 60 into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams 1140. So 60 cancel. So 100 by 114 molality. So this is the molality. So what he was given, molarity was given, and the density of the solution also given. You have to find out molality small m. 1 molar urea means what? 1 mole urea present in 1 liter solution. 1 mole urea means how many grams? 60 grams. 60 grams urea present in 1000 ml solution. So we have to convert the volume of the solution into mass of the solution, because we have to find out molality. To find out molality, the weight of solute and solvent should be independently known. Because volume of the solution is known, you can convert this volume into mass of the solution by applying the formula density is equal to mass by volume. Then mass of the solution is equal to density into volume of the solution in ml. So the density is 1.2 gram per ml and volume is 1000 ml. So when you multiply both of these, you will get 1200 grams. So this 1200 is what? Weight of the solution. The total solution weight is small w plus capital W. Total solution weight small w plus capital W. Out of this, solute weight is 60 grams. Total solution weight is 1200 grams and solute weight is 60 grams. The difference is weight of the solvent. So you know the weights of the solute and weight of the solvent. So if both weights are known, you can find out the molality by applying the molality relation. Molality is equal to weight by gram molecular weight into 1000 by weight of the solvent. So that if the density was given, you can convert the mass of the solution into volume of the solution and also volume of the solution into mass of the solution. To find out molality, you require mass of the solution. To find out molarity, you require volume of the solution. So whenever you find out molarity, capital M, you require volume of the solution. Whenever you find out molality, you require mass of the solution. You can convert volume of the solution into mass or mass into volume of the solution by using density. What is the relation? Density is equal to mass by volume. Okay. See, next problem. A 1 liter flask was given, empty flask was given. This is 1 liter flask up to the mark 1 liter. This total capacity is 1 liter. This is filled with 100 ml of ethyl alcohol, CH3 CH2OH. Ethyl alcohol is liquid. 100 ml ethyl alcohol. Now the entire remaining gap is filled with water. This is water. The total capacity is 1 liter. This is 100 ml. So what would be the volume of this one? This is 900 ml. So 900 ml is water. 100 ml is ethyl alcohol. Density of water was given 1 gram per ml. And density of ethyl alcohol was given 0.92 gram per ml. Density of ethyl alcohol was given 0.92 gram per ml. Find out molarity, mole fraction of the solute. Here, which is solute? Alcohol is solute. This is solute. Alcohol is solute. Less quantity fraction is solute. Higher quantity is solvent. This is solute. In the mixture of two liquids, less quantity per fraction is solute. Higher quantity fraction is solvent. You have to find out molarity, molality, and mole fraction of the solute. See, two liquids were given, water and alcohol. Ethyl alcohol volume of ethyl alcohol is 100 ml. Volume of water is 900 ml. Then volume of the solution is, adding both these two, 100 plus 900, you will get 1000 ml. Small w, weight of solute is 100 into 0.92. The volume should be multiplied with the density, 92 grams. Solute. Solvent is 900 ml into 1. Density is 1 gram per ml. 900 grams. So now the weight of solute is known. Weight of solvent is known. Volume of the solutions are also known. First find out the molarity. Weight of the solute by 92 by gram molecular weight of the solute. Gram molecular weight, solute, ethyl alcohol, gram molecular weight. Ethyl alcohol gram molecular weight is 46. 46 into 1000 by volume of the solution. Molarity, to find out molarity, volume of the solution should be known, 1000 ml. So you will get 2 molar. So molarity is 2 molar. Molality. Molality is weight of the solute by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams. Weight of the solute how much? 92 grams by its gram molecular weight 46 ethyl alcohol into 1000 by weight of the solvent 900 grams only. 900 grams. So you will get 20 by 46 2s are 2, 20 by 9. So 20 by 9 molal. 20 by 9 molal, molality. And see X solute. X solute is what? Ethyl alcohol. Number of moles of ethyl alcohol by number of moles of ethyl alcohol plus number of moles of the water. Number of moles of ethyl alcohol. Weight of the ethyl alcohol is 92 grams by its molecular weight 46. You'll get moles. Again 92 by 46. Plus this weight is 900 grams. 900 by molecular weight 18. Water molecular weight 18. 2 by 2 plus 50. So 2 by 52. 2 by 52. 1 by 26. So 1 by 26 is the mole fraction of the solute. If you want X solvent is equal to 1 minus X solute. 1 minus 1 by 26. 25 by 26 will be the mole fraction of the solvent. So see once again. So a 1 liter flask was given to you. 1 liter flask was given to you. First, it is filled with 100 ml of the ethyl alcohol. And now it is make up to 1 liter mark with water. That means 900 ml water should be added to convert this into 1 liter. So already 100 ml ethyl alcohol was given. It is diluted with 900 ml of the solvent water to make up into 1 liter volume. So the density of water was given 1 gram per ml and density of alcohol was given 0.92 grams per ml. You have to find out molarity, molality and mole fraction of the solute. So volume of the alcohol given is 100 ml. Volume of the water given is 900 ml. Then volume of the solution is the total volume. Adding both these two, you'll get 1000 ml solution volume. And weight of the solute was, solute is ethyl alcohol. Only how many ml was given? 100 ml. And the density was given 0.92. By multiplying volume with the density, you will get weight of the alcohol weight is 92 grams, and water weight is, density is 1 gram per ml, 900 into 900 grams. So now you know the weight of solute, weight of solvent, and volume of the solution, so that you can find out molarity, molality, and mole fractions. How do you find out molarity? Weight of the solute by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by volume of the solution in ml. So 1000 will cancel, you will get 2 molar. And molality, weight of the solute by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent. So 92 by 46 into 1000 by weight of the solvent in grams, 900 grams, so that you'll get 20 by 9 molality. And mole fraction of the solute, number of moles of alcohol by number of moles of alcohol plus number of moles of water, so that you will get mole fraction of the solute. And X solvent become 1 minus X solute. So these are the important models regarding mole fractions and molality. సో ఈ రోజుతో మనకి బేసిక్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, మోల్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, ఆక్సిడేషన్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, రిడక్షన్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా బేసిక్ ఫండమెంటల్స్ అన్నీ కూడా మీకు రేపు ఎప్పుడైనా మళ్ళీ వస్తే ఇది ఇంకొకసారి మళ్ళీ వింటుంటే మీకు ఈజీ అవుతుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఫస్ట్ టైం యాక్చువల్గా ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ టోటల్ సిలబస్లోకి వెళ్ళే స్టూడెంట్స్ కాస్త డిఫికల్టీ ఫీల్ అయ్యే చాప్టర్ స్టైకోమెట్రీ. సో అందుకని ఒకసారి ముందుగా మనం వినున్నట్లయితే ఇప్పుడు రేపు రెగ్యులర్ ప్రోగ్రాంలో వచ్చినప్పుడు మీకు ఈజీ అనిపిస్తుంది, డిఫికల్టీ ఫీల్ అవ్వరు. సో మీ అందరికీ కూడా ఈ అవసరమైతే ఇప్పటి వరకు అయిపోయినటువంటి అన్ని క్లాసెస్ నోట్స్ మీకు పంపిస్తాను. మీరు ఎవరైనా నోట్స్ రాసుకోకపోయినా కూడా ఈ నోట్స్ అంతా ఒకసారి చూసుకుంటే మీకు సరిపోతుంది. సో ఈ రోజు నుంచి ఇందాక ఫిజిక్స్ మాస్టర్ చెప్పినట్లుగా 10 days మనకి బ్రిడ్జ్ కోర్స్ స్టూడెంట్స్కి హాలిడేస్ ఇస్తున్నాం. బాగా హాట్ వేవ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, బాగా సమ్మర్, వినడం కొంచెం కష్టం అవుతుందని పేరెంట్స్ నుంచి రిక్వెస్ట్లు వచ్చాయి. సో ఈ రోజు నుంచి 10 days మనకి కొంత గ్యాప్ తీసుకుంటా ఉన్నాం. 10 days తర్వాత మళ్ళీ మనం స్టార్ట్ చేసుకుందాం సిలబస్ని. సిబిఎస్ఈ వాళ్ళకైతే పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం లేదనుకుంటాను, ఆల్రెడీ 10th క్లాస్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ అయిపోయినాయి కాబట్టి. బట్ ఎస్ఎస్సి వాళ్ళు మాత్రం మీ ఇష్టం, చూసుకోండి, వినాలనుకుంటే వినొచ్చు తర్వాత కూడా. అయినా కూడా మీరు విన్నా వినకపోయినా మళ్ళీ మన రీఓపెనింగ్ తర్వాత మీరు మన కాలేజీకి ఎప్పుడైతే వస్తారో ఆ వచ్చిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ మొదటి నుంచి ఫ్రెష్గా ఒక్కో సబ్జెక్ట్ ఇద్దరు టీచ్ చేస్తారు. మనకి ఫిజిక్స్ ఇద్దరు చెప్తారు, కెమిస్ట్రీ ఇద్దరు చెప్తారు. కాబట్టి స్లోగా వెళ్ళొచ్చు, మీకు భయపడాల్సిన పని లేదు. ఎందుకంటే రేపు ఆగస్టులో మొదలైన మీకు జూలై వరకు నెక్స్ట్ ఇయర్ అకాడమిక్ ఇయర్ మళ్ళీ 2 నెలలు పొడిగించే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. యాక్చువల్గా ఎవ్రీ ఇయర్ అయితే మార్చిలో ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ మార్చిలో ఉంటాయి. బట్ మీకు ఈసారి జూన్లో ఉండొచ్చు. మార్చ్, ఏప్రిల్, మే నుంచి జూన్ ఫస్ట్ వీక్లో అలా ఎగ్జామ్ జరగవచ్చు. కాబట్టి మీకు అకాడమికల్గా మీకు ఏ నష్టం జరగదు. సో కాబట్టి 10th క్లాస్ వాళ్ళు మీరు 10th క్లాస్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయండి, 10th ఎగ్జామ్స్ మీద. సిబిఎస్ఈ వాళ్ళు మాత్రం June 4th నుంచి మళ్ళీ మీకు మొదలవుతాయి. సో అందరికీ కూడా ఏ రకమైన ఇబ్బంది లేకుండా మన కాలేజీకి వచ్చాక చక్కగా స్లోగా చెప్పుకుందాం. సో ఈ 1 month ఏదైతే చెప్పుకున్నామో రోజుకు 1 గంట మీరు ఒకసారి కనుక చూసుకున్నట్లయితే మీకు రేపు ఈ చాప్టర్ స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు యూ విల్ ఫీల్ మోర్ ఈజియర్. ఓకేనా? సో ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్. జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండండి, ఇళ్లలో ఎండలకు తిరగమాకండి, వైరస్కి ఎక్స్పోజ్ కామాకండి. ఓకేనా? స్టే హోమ్, స్టే సేఫ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆల్. బాయ్.
ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్. సార్ ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్. జీఆర్ సార్.
చెప్పండి
సార్. అది పిల్లలకి చెప్పేశారు సార్?
చెప్పాగా.
సరే సార్, అటైతే
చెప్పేశారు.
ఓకే సార్.
ఇంకా చెప్పాలంటే చెప్పండి. ఉన్నారు ఇంకా పిల్లలు 114 మంది ఉన్నారు
సార్.
ఇంకా మీరు చెప్పాలంటే చెప్పండి.
లేదు పర్లేదు, మీరు చెప్పేది సరిపోతున్నాడు సార్.
సరే అండ్